Hey, my name is Rowan Smith and I want to welcome you to the Training for Trekking podcast. Now, this is the world's very first podcast which is entirely dedicated to helping you train, prepare and conquer your upcoming hike, trek or mountain adventure. So once a week, I'm going to be giving you quality and practical information on the subjects of physical preparation for trekking, dealing with altitude and nutrition on the trail, so you can know everything you need to be doing to have the best chance of a safe, enjoyable and successful adventure. So now you know what you're in for. Let's get into today's episode. Hello guys. Today we are talking through a really effective and incredibly powerful strategy a hiker can use when they're setting themselves goals over the long term. Now, with the new year in our sights and just around the corner, goal setting is high on many people's minds. And we've all probably pondered what our New Year's resolutions are going to be, whether it's sort of hiking related, life related, financial related, or whatever it may be. And most of us have probably given it a thought one way or another. And this time of year, it really does come down to the whole new year, new start, new me mentality. And January is always the time when we decide to start these new adventures, make positive changes and all of this. Some of us do it, some of us don't, some of us are successful, some of us fail, probably most of us fail, but it is something a lot of people go through. And in amongst all that, today I want to talk you through a really effective strategy you can use for your long-term training, for your hiking, for your financial sense, for your business sense, or whatever it may be. It applies to any really area you put your mind to. And the whole idea behind this strategy, it's not mine, it's from some very smarter people that I can't exactly remember who invented it. But the idea behind it is basically when you're doing your goal setting is you want to have a think and not just set your short-term goals, which you might want to do in the next 4 weeks or 6 months, not just set your 12-month goals where you want to, what you want to achieve over the year, what things you want to tick off, but you want to set yourself a super long-term goal which is incredibly, outrageously, just over the top ambitious. And it's something that really makes you nervous. It makes you a little bit excited and also causes you a little bit of stress almost. And it's just something that's so far out of your sights right now that you want to achieve. You'd love to be able to do it, but you're like, you know what? It is very unlikely I'm going to be able to do that. So to give you an example is when I first started my Summit Strength business, when I first decided, look, I've been working with hikers and trekkers for a while, but this is something that I want to do for my life, for my career, and I'm going to go out on my own and do this. Before I'd even launched the business, I'd set myself a 10-year goal where I wanted to be the number one leader in training and physical preparation in the hiking world in 10 years. Now, at that stage, that was absolutely ludicrous to think about because right then, I've been training hikers and trekkers for a little while, but aside from a very select few people in Sydney, no one knew who I was. I was a nobody in the hiking community. I didn't have a business. I didn't have anything online. I'd never written a piece of content about hiking. I'd never done a training video. I'd never done one of these podcasts. At that stage, it was so outrageously out of reach, but I said it anyway. And the pure act of setting this outrageous goal, it forced me to start taking action. Because I was like, look, if I don't do anything, I'm never going to get there. And so I need to start doing things and maybe bit by bit I will get there. And it forced me. So I actually launched my business. I started creating content. I started doing my blog posts, my Facebook posts, and started doing this podcast. I started actively educating myself around a huge number of topics which I needed to learn and develop if I knew I was going to become the world leader in hiking and training. And I started really applying myself. And bit by bit, having this goal looming over myself really helped me make progress and really make a significant change. And then fast forward 3 years down the line, looking back at this, because I've been striving towards this goal, which seemed so unattainable at the time, I've made such huge progress beyond where I thought I would be. And that actual outrageous goal of 10 years further down the line, it actually does seem attainable now, and it's very realistic. But it wouldn't have been realistic if I hadn't set that goal, if I'd aimed lower, and if I'd sort of just said, look, I just want to be a recognizable name or I just want to be successful in my business, I don't think it would have had the same impact. And you can use this same thing for sort of your hiking goals. And recently, one of my clients, we had this discussion about this stuff. And one of my clients' longer term goal was, she was like, I always wanted to do this 10-day trek over in Tasmania in Australia. And she was like, at the time that I set myself that goal, it was so beyond not achievable. It was just not going to happen. It was not realistic. I was nowhere near that. But she set herself that, and she's been plugging away towards that. She's been taking the right actions consistently. She's been reaching out for help to people. She's been doing her training. She's been doing smaller hikes. She's been learning about all the skills she needs and all of that. And bit by bit by bit, that's been becoming more and more attainable. And then just the other day, she booked this particular hike for the end of next year. And she was like, look, it's happening. I'm going to make it happen. I'm put myself in the right position. I've done the right things, and it is going to happen right now. Because she set that such an outrageous goal further down the line, it's really, really forced her to take action. So my challenge for you is, when you are going through this New Year's resolution process, when you're thinking about what do you want to achieve in 2021, have a think about what do you want to achieve in 2031. Think about an absolutely outrageous thing you would love to have accomplished by 2031. It may not seem possible. It may not seem probable, but think about it anyway. And then write it down. And write it down and put it somewhere you're going to regularly see. And having this set in stone, having this in front of you, having this thing you're going to aim towards can be incredibly effective at forcing you to take action. And that might be taking action with your training. That might be taking action doing more hiking. That might be taking action taking control of your nutrition. That might be changing habits, changing lifestyle, whatever it may be. Everyone's individual. Everyone's got different approaches to this. But setting that goal is going to be universal, and that is going to force you to start moving towards that. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this. Sit down, think about an outrageous goal that you're going to achieve in 2031 or by 2031. Write it down and make it happen. That is the single most significant tip around goal setting I can give you at this time of year and any other time. And I honestly do believe it's incredibly, incredibly effective. So a bit of food for thought there, guys, but I highly recommend you put that into action. So I do hope you've gotten some value out of this one today, guys. I do hope it's sort of given you a bit of food for thought, and you may actually apply this into your own life and see and reap the benefits you do from this particular strategy. If you have got a friend who's been thinking about their hiking goals or their training goals for 2021, maybe you've discussed this with a group, maybe you talked about this with a friend or a family member, I would absolutely love if you could share this podcast over to them. Because as I said at the start, this goal setting process, it can apply to anything, to your hiking, to your training, to your business, to your financials, to your social life, whatever it may be. It's universal, and it can be very, very effective. So if there's someone that may benefit from it, I would absolutely love if you could pass this on. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.